So good morning. It's time for another leadership quote of the day. This is Matt Morey, C4 leader, and today's quote actually comes from another keynoter and public speaker, a gentleman named Steve Maraboli. He claims to be one of the most quoted people in the world alive. Hi, Dog Dare. I see that you joined me. Thanks for joining me. The quote today is one that I'm sure you've heard other derivatives of, but I wanted to share his. If you don't know exactly where you're going, how will you know when you get there? And that's, again, Steve Maraboli. The reason I wanted to share this one is because so often we see people provide these grand mission statements, visions, and goals, but they don't define how they're going to get there, and they don't define what the end state of that really is. They don't sit there and say, "Oh, hey, Jeffrey, nice for you to join me. Thank you." They don't stop and say, how are we going to do this? They don't, or when are we going to get there? And even Lewis Carroll in Alice in Wonderland said, or the Cheshire Cat said, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So what I've learned over time is that you can't just say we're going to be the best company, or you can't just say we're going to have zero accidents, or you can't just say that I am going to make PB&Js for the poor, which is a example pulled from a book. What you need to be able to say is, I'm going to make 50 PB&Js every day for the poor. That gives you a goal with a metric associated with it. You need to start defining SMART goals and what those or KPIs. And when you work on those and you have them properly defined, then your team knows where they're going. Now, don't mistake this with what we quoted yesterday about micromanagement. You want to be able to define the boundaries and define the end state, but you don't necessarily want to tell them how they're going to get there. It's up to the team members to do the work that's best for them. Okay, so again, the quote of the day, it comes from Steve Maraboli. He is an author and a keynote speaker. He's been on Oprah. He's been identified by almost everybody in Hollywood to be a very smart and intelligent man, so I'm giving him credit where credit is due. His quote, if you don't know exactly where you're going, how will you know when you get there? Lots of derivatives of that particular quote out there. I found this one to be fairly entertaining and useful, and I asked my wife, Erin Morey, love you, honey, I hope you see this, wherever you go, there you are, Joe Dirt. Perfect quote, right up that alley. Thank you, Jeffrey. I asked my wife to take that quote and make a picture for it. So if you go to c4leader.com, you'll see that she took a picture of a sunrise. Actually, I believe it was a sunset. She took a picture of a sunset that she made a long time ago and then superimposed a quote over it. So if you want something that you can share, please go to c4leader.com and you'll see some of the details of what I'm talking about here, along with the quote on an image that should be shareable and clickable for everybody. Now, Jeffrey, I appreciate that. Oh, you got another one. If you ain't first, you're last. Ricky Bobby. Boy, we got some good movie quotes going on here, Jeffrey. I appreciate that. And it's all basically the same thing, but how do you know when you're first? How do you know that you're first? In business and in real life, how do you know that you're first unless you've defined what first means? So again, it comes down to having the ability to know where you're going and be specific about it. Now, when I talk about this in my speeches, I have a concept called conceive, my C4 formula for leadership, which is why I talk about why I call myself the C4 leader. And the first C is conceive. And the reason I picked conceive is that you can't just have a vision or a mission statement. Like we've said a couple of times on here, if you don't know where you're going, there you are. You need to be able to know where you want to go, and you need to be able to define how you're going to get there. And that needs to be fleshed out. It needs to be conceived and not just a wish. All right, this is Matt Morey, the C4 leader. I appreciate everybody logging in and watching this. Tune in tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'll have another quote of the day for you. As always, I expect you'll get more with Morey. And here's to you and your team exploding into success.